Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to the extra time segment for Fleetwood 2, Everton 5. Everton shake off a couple of scares in the second half to eventually comfortably get through to the Carabao Cup fourth round. Paul, what do you make of that one? Very good going forward, weren't we? But there's a very big Pickford-shaped elephant in the room, isn't there?
Yeah, Jordan Pickford was Fleetwood's man of the match by a distance, wasn't he? And he seems hell-bent on getting us knocked out of that cup this tonight. I've tried to give Pickford the benefit of the doubt a lot over the past year or so. I mean, I've slagged him off like everyone has, but I haven't gone right in on him and said he's diabolical, he needs selling, he's never going to be good enough. I've kind of been hoping that he was just having a rocky season or two, like a lot of top goalies do in the 20s, that he'll come through it and he'll mature and he'll calm down. He just needed a manager like Ancelotti to basically get hold of him and teach him how to be a top level player, basically. But I've lost patience now. It's just not going to happen.
If he does that against Fleetwood, imagine what the Premier League team's going to do if he does something like this.
Mate, he's very, very lucky that the supporters aren't allowed in the stadiums at the minute, because can you imagine if he did that with the Everton end behind him, or if he did that at Goodison? He'd be getting absolutely crucified. I mean, think back to what happened with Tim Howard in his final couple of months at the club, and it got really, really sour between him and the supporters because his levels had dropped that much, and he was such a liability that the fans ended up lashing out at him during games, like slagging him off behind the goal and shouting abuse at him, and it really affected him, type thing, and it kind of tarnished his legacy a little bit. Definitely. A little bit, yeah. I think fans have got over it now, and he's always he's kind of welcome back now. But the last few months, Howard was kind of really, really unpopular, but at least Howard's had a lot of good years behind him. Pickford hasn't got any of that. So if you can remember, Howard getting all that abuse
for England, and that is it.
Yeah. If Howard was getting all that, can you imagine what it would be like for Pickford if he was doing that in front of all the supporters? Oh, mate, I'm fed up with him now. He was hell-bent on getting us knocked out tonight, and
he definitely had a bet on or something there, and for them to concede or something.
He inspires no confidence at all. The defenders in front of him must be, their heads must be falling off with him.
I think John was doing the live updates on Twitter for the Toffee Blues this evening, and he nailed it, I think, with this tweet where he said, our 10 outfielders today didn't really put a foot wrong, and Jordan Pickford undermined all of that, put this game at risk, and knocked the confidence of our outfielders.
We've conceded, 4 goals this season now in the 4 games we've played. 4 goals in 4 games, and 3 of them were directly his faults, probably. Those 2 tonight, and the second one, the free kick against West Brom.
I didn't think he showered himself in glory for Dean Garner's either against West Brom.
No. He was responsible for at least one of them. I think he could have done better for the free kick because his arms were flailing all over the place. And those 2 tonight...
As they very regularly are.
Yeah. The top and bottom of it is Jordan Pickford is throwing goals in the net for Everton at this point, and he's been doing it for a while, and it's got to the point now where you just can't keep putting your faith in him. He's become a massive problem, and I just really hope that we can get another goalkeeper in before the deadline's finished, because we just need somebody to either completely displace him or somebody who would at least come in and give him a kick up the arse and make him realise that he's not undroppable, because that's been the problem with him for ages. We've had no one to take him out the team for, because Stecklenberg was a ghost. Lossell was a ghost in the sense that we never ever see him. Don't know what's happened to that fella. And Virginia's just...
he was on the bench tonight though, Lossell, so he's sneaking back into contention for all we know.
Goodness knows why he's not had any first team appearances since, because from what I remember him at Huddersfield, he did look like a competent level goalkeeper. I mean, he wasn't a world beater, but he wasn't throwing goals in the net every single game like Pickford does. So we need someone to come in and just another goalkeeper we can hang on at, because I've had enough of Pickford now, and everyone has. And I'll make this prediction now. I don't like saying it, but we've got to be real. If we go the entire season with Jordan Pickford in goal, we're not winning a trophy, and we're probably not getting top 6, because he's just that bad and that much he's holding the team back. It doesn't matter how good the outfield is.
He could single-handedly cost us success this season.
Yes, and we've got to take action.
He almost did this evening. I think what John said was spot on. All the outfield players performed excellently tonight. First half was flawless, and then literally the minute he gifts them that first goal, everyone's confidence seemed to go a little bit. And I think that's that's the opposite of what you want your goalkeeper to do. I think it made all the players a bit more nervous. Like, you didn't have the same swagger after that.
He puts an anxiety through the entire team, and he puts an anxiety through the supporters. He's an head case. You can't hang your hat on him. The job of a goalkeeper is to give the centre half in front of him, particularly confidence, knowing that, right, I've got this fella behind me. If someone gets past me, then he's got to get past the fella behind me as well, and that's not going to be easy. If Mina and Key must be thinking, Christ, if someone gets a run on us here and he goes through on goal, then he scored. Because this fella behind me is not keeping nothing out. And if a long ball comes in, like their second goal, we don't know whether he's coming or going. Because for their second goal...
For the first goal, like, we don't really want to give this guy the frigging back pass.
Yeah, he can't even do that. Do you know what I mean? He had all the time in the world to just oof it. And he gets caught in two minds, and he ends up getting tackled, and the goal goes in. And then he makes another absolute howler, but a different type of howler, as in he commits to coming out for the cross, and then he changes his mind halfway there and goes back and retreats back onto his line.
And then flaps the overhead kick into the net.
Yeah, flaps the overhead kick. That was right at him. And all right, it wasn't softly hit, but it wasn't full of power. It wasn't a pile driver, was it?
No,
a lot of goalkeepers.
It was close to throwing it in the net, if you ask me.
Yeah, a lot of goalies would have kept that out, and a lot of goalies would have just came and committed to the cross and gathered it in the first place. His decision-making's awful.
I think we've got to get a goalkeeper in before this window shuts, and if Carlo Ancelotti was as furious as you say he was, then he's got to take action.
I hope so, because I think Pickford was one of those players who Ancelotti was willing to give a bit of time to and give the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, he's done it with other players like Bernard and Iwobi, it looks like, and probably Sigurdsson as well, because they're still getting minutes in the team, and it doesn't look like they're going to be going this window. And I think Pickford probably fell in that bracket in the sense that, yeah, if the club could get somebody better in this window, we would. But he's not an absolute priority to replace. We've got other places
now he simply has to be replaced.
Yeah. There was other positions in the team that we had to get in first before we could think about that. But tonight it's just completely put it up once and for all that we are not going to achieve what we want to achieve this season if he's in between the sticks for a prolonged period, because he's just not good enough. We've got to get rid of him.
That is the bottom line at the end of the day. I mean, we'll leave it at that anyway. I mean, I think, the general consensus among the fan base tonight is bomb Pickford out, and I think everyone's in the right mind to be thinking that way, because this is just the latest in a long line of blunders, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's, as I said, it's one too many now. Even the people who were willing to stick up for him for a while and didn't turn on him as quickly as a lot of other people did, and I count myself as one of them, and I was very much in the minority. I accept that. Even I'm at the point now where I just can't be doing with the fella. I don't want him in our team. I don't want him at the club. Ideally, I just think his attitude's terrible. He's not learning from his mistakes, and he's not even a competent level goalie where he can do the basics, which I'm sure Lossell would be, and probably Virginia if he gets a bit more seasoning, hopefully. I don't need a goalie to be an absolute world beater for this team to be successful. We've got world beaters in the team. We just need a goalie at the back who can give us a 6 or a 7 out of 10 performance nearly every week of the season. And at the moment, he can't even manage a 2 out of 10 by the looks of it.
Oh no, it's absolutely wretched. I mean, right, we'll leave the Pickford bashing session there, and we'll move on to the positives. The fact that we scored 5 goals. Some very well taken goals as well. Richie's 2 in the first half were brilliant goals, weren't they? Particularly that one with the 1-2, the back heel from Iwobi.
Yeah, I'm buzzing he scored, to be honest, because he needed a goal. It's good to get him up and running for the season. And I was hoping he would start. I didn't think he would. I thought we'd probably play, we'd start Gordon and Iwobi on either side. Gordon can count himself unlucky that he was dropped, but if he was going to be dropped, then I'm glad it was for Richarlison, because we wanted Richarlison to get his goal, get right in amongst it, and get his confidence up. And he's done that. He's got 2 really well taken goals. He looked like he really enjoyed them as well. Like he looked like he was really patting himself on the back when he scored them. So I'm glad that his mind seems to be on it. I'm made up that he's got them. I was happy Keane bagged one at the end as well, because he got a lot of stick last week because he wasn't good against Salford at all. And he was another one who could probably have done with starting tonight, but I understand why he didn't. But he's come on for that little cameo at the end. He's bagged another one. So at the moment, it just seems to be his goal to minutes ratio is actually pretty decent when you add it all up together. So
yeah, and even if you're having a bad period, I think that's
all you can ask for a striker to score.
You can always point to the statistics.
Yeah, I'm the players who needed goals got them tonight. I think Bernard needed a goal to get himself up and running. Richarlison needed goals. Keane needed a goal, and who got the other one?
Iwobi.
Iwobi, that's him up and running for the season as well. So all the players who needed goals and big performances had them. Bernard and Iwobi were, along with Nkounkou, they were probably the 3 men of the match. Those 2, Bernard and Iwobi, they're very much squad players now. They're out of the A team and in the B team. But if they can perform like that on a consistent basis, then it looks like that Carlo will be happy to keep them around as squad options.
Absolutely.
And they look like they both. Yeah.
We'll touch on Niels and Nkounkou because he was excellent again, wasn't he?
He looks like dog's bollocks him, honestly. I know he wasn't really tested going defensively. He didn't have much to do in this game or the game last week against Salford. But I really like what I've seen of him. And I know he's good going forward, and people say, well, Sidderby was good going forward. We need to see what he's like when he's asked to defend. But I just really like his awareness. He always seems to be where we need him to be. He never gets caught up the field and the man gets the run on him. He's always where he can be picked out for a pass. He can dribble past people. He knows when to release the ball. He doesn't get run down blind alleys or pick stupid passes out. I just really, really like him.
I think he's nothing like Sidderby. I mean, I haven't seen Sidderby skin someone before.
Yeah, maybe it's a bit of a lazy comparison, but I meant it in the sense that sometimes a fullback is great going forward, but they're not worth keeping around because they just can't do it at the other end.
Basics,
yeah, they can't do basics. And from what we've seen so far, it looks like he can do the basics because he knows where to be, doesn't get caught out. He knows when to track back and to stay back rather than just bombing on forward like an headless chicken. I really like him. And how old is he? 19?
19, 20, something like that.
19, 20. At that age, mate, it looks like we've got a proper gem of a player. I really want to see more of him. I don't want to drop Lucas Dean, but part of me also wants to see this lad given a run in the first team to see what he can do because I really, really like him.
But let's not forget, though, when Leighton Baines announced his retirement, we were all wondering where we were going to get covered at left-back from, and looks like we may well have got him. And if the fees to be, I think apparently compensation taken into account, 250k.
He looks like another little Seamus Coleman type buy, isn't he?
I was just going to say, you're accounting inflation in the football transfer market from 2009. You're talking 60 grand levels of transfer fee.
Yeah, he'll have to get a song like Seamus's. I know 250 grand doesn't have the ring to it, but his type of signing and Jared Branthwaite are the type of players who Marcel Brands has made his name off as a director of football. He finds these little gems in the lower leagues or in foreign countries, and he brings them in and they develop into great players. They don't come in necessarily thinking they don't come in with the idea that they're going to play a big part straight away, but the raw talent is there, and they're built up and they're built up and they're built up, and you can just see, in 3-4 years' time, this lad is going to be absolutely immense if we get his development right.
But what we can't understate, though, is when Brands has done this in the past, you need the right management to help these players kick on over those 4 years. And obviously, I think now we have got Ancelotti. I think that's something that is possible.
I hope so, because Ancelotti is very much a man manager, isn't he? He'll know what to say to these young players to keep them hungry and to keep them their heads screwed on so they're not losing heart when they play well and then they're dropped for the following game. He'll know how to keep them involved.
Not just man management, though. I think also his tactical side of things. He's a much better tactician than any of the managers that we've had before.
Yeah, that's not saying much for the last few managers, is it? But
Granted, yeah. But
granted,
I mean,
yeah.
we're talking Carlo Ancelotti here. He's one of the top 5 managers about.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the young players we've got. Branthwaite looked good when we played him. This lad looks like an absolute belter of a player, a diamond. Gordon looks like he's really coming into his own now. And like I touched on before, Moyes Keane, all right, not every performance is great, but the stats are looking decent.
He's
He's getting
to
goals.
find the net a bit, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully the future is very, very bright. And in the next couple of years, we're going to really enjoy success, whether that's going to be trophies, whether that's going to be sustained finishes in Europe. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be one or the other, or both, as long as we keep Ancelotti and we keep going in this direction that we're going in. We're picking up these young players and developing them.
Absolutely. So basically, we'll sum this one up before we finish. The future's very bright, but as long as Jordan Pickford's not part of it.
100%, yeah. I really think we can go far in this competition because next opponent is West Ham at Goodison, and David Moyes, in the next round next week, I think we play West Ham at Goodison in the next round. David Moyes has got coronavirus, so I'm right in saying he won't be there because he'll be self-isolating.
Should be, yeah, if he follows the guidelines.
Yeah, so he won't be there, and I imagine West Ham will get beat at the weekend, and their crisis will get even worse. So they'll be in a relegation battle, and I can just, in an ideal world, Alan Irvine will turn up to Goodison next week, throw a load of the West Ham reserves out because he's got to protect the first team players to get some.
Is it Irvine or is it Steve Round now, isn't it?
I don't know. Steve Round's somewhere else now. He doesn't work with David Moyes anymore. I think Alan Irvine's the assistant down there. I know he took the game last night.
Did he?
I can't remember. I'm not sure who they played, but I know they won 5-1.
Yeah, they beat
Hull. Yeah, I know Alan Irvine took the game when David Moyes turned up and was diagnosed and had to go home. So let's move on to the next game at the weekend, get Crystal Palace out the way, and then get on to next week and play in the 5th round of the Cup, which I'm really looking forward to because Arsenal have beat Leicester tonight. Arsenal are going to play Liverpool, providing Liverpool get through. That'll be another big team that's out. This Cup is there to win. Let's go out and win it because we've got the players and it looks like we've got the mentality now. Let's go out and do it.
We just need the goalkeeper.
Just need the goalkeeper. Go on, Marcel. Get a goalkeeper in.
Yeah, that's it. It's going to be another one of them. Is it done yet? We're going to be sitting there waiting for announcements again now until when is the transfer window closing? 5th of October.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
so we've got 2 weeks.
2 more weeks to suffer through until we hopefully get a few more deals done, and hopefully we'll have a team ready to march to
rock
success.
And roll.
Yeah, rock and roll. So there you have it, guys. Let us know your opinions on the Everton win over Fleetwood, your opinions on Pickford, your opinions on the attackers, the goal scorers. Drop us a comment below. Give this video a like. Subscribe for more content and whatnot. And until next time, thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.